Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation, A Road to Extinction. So, to get started, our planet is facing incredibly difficult challenges in trying to protect animal biodiversity. Anthropogenic climate change and habitat loss has seen biodiversity loss skyrocket in the past decade. One of the many challenges these animals face is our changing landscapes to facilitate human transport. It's estimated that traffic kills over 350 million vertebrate animals every single year in the United States alone. San Diego is known to be a biodiversity hotspot, home to more animal species than any other city in the United States. As such, we have the responsibility to put in more effort than any other city in the US to combat biodiversity loss. So, how can we identify how roadkill impacts wildlife in San Diego County? The goal of this project is to do just that. To get started on the project, I collected data from iNaturalist's California Roadkill Observation System, or CROSS. iNaturalist is a citizen scientist app that anyone can add observations to. Exporting data from this established project makes sure that all of this data is verified and accurate to use for the project. To restrict this data to San Diego County, I clipped the data using the San Diego County boundary provided by Sandag's Open Data Portal. I also downloaded San Diego County's major roads map so that we can align these observation points with major roads. After downloading the raw data as a CSV, I used the tool XYTable to point to create a point map of roadkill observations. To make this data more meaningful, I had to perform a point density analysis on the points to create a heat map of where roadkill was most dense. However, if we want to know what roads specifically cause the most roadkill, we'll have to spatially join this point density map with San Diego's major roads. Doing so creates a visual map of which road segments have the highest density of roadkill. By using graduated colors, the colors on the road lines indicate higher frequency of roadkill, making a heat map of which road segments in particular are threats to wildlife. By adding the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service critical habitat map, we can now see which habitats have roadways overlapping them that are high threats to wildlife. These overlaps could be used to aid in the restoration or creation of wildlife corridors in these habitats or to create wildlife fencing to prevent roadkill events. While certain species of plants may not be directly affected by motor vehicle incidents, the development of roadway fragments, habitats, and knowing what vegetation types are present in the areas can assist in restoration. Additionally, loss of keystone species to roadway accidents, especially large mammals, ultimately affects the composition of these habitats. Some of the affected species that we can see here that have overlapping high-density road maps are peninsular bighorn sheep, Kino checker spot butterflies, southwestern arroyo toads, Hermes copper butterflies, Otay tar plant, and California gnatcatchers. Additionally, you can see that some of the roadways in downtown San Diego are pretty green. This might be not expected. However, it's probable that because these areas are high density populations, people are more likely to see the roadkill and have it removed before observations can be made. Lastly, I use the National Land Cover Database Vegetation Types raster to find which vegetation types are most impacted by roadkill events. This can help aid in plans for restoration or construction of wildlife corridors. Performing a statistical analysis on these vegetation types shows that developed areas are the most prone to roadkill, followed by grasslands and shrub and scrub. So, what can we learn from this mapping project? First, several major roadways pose great threats to wildlife and the habitats they live in. Several threatened species have critical habitats overlapping with these dangerous roadways. Vegetation types, while not directly impacted, are impacted by loss of important animal species as well as development of habitat into major roads. Wildlife corridors must be reviewed. This map can help guide biologists in identifying high-risk areas that need corridors or fencing. By using this map to do so, we can help save the incredible biodiversity of San Diego County.